record. So welcome to this webinar and thank you for joining me, whether you're with me live or you're watching the replay. It is a pleasure to have you with me. I always enjoy being with people, working with people, helping people grow their ability to sell because it can be such an empowering thing. I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow here. There is going to be a Q&A session at the end, so if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or feel free to hold on to them until we come to the Q&A portion of the webinar. So I'm Anna Scheller, and today we're going to talk about how do we attract the right buyer? How do we get people to come to us who are the people who need what we have to solve their problems or to get them what they want the most. I am a sales coach, a trainer. I have a book, and I just was part of another book that became a #1 Amazon bestseller, and so I'm pretty excited about that. It was all about interviewing, so it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to put together, and we got to #1, so I'm pretty excited. I always like to start out with why people should listen to me. So I know Noreen and we know each other. We've met before when I've been in Ireland, and I'm coming next year. So I may not make it this year. I'm coming next year. But for those of you who really don't know much about me, I am a business owner. I have been in business now for 14 years. And I will be honest with you, when I started in business, I didn't know what I was doing. I wish there was a handbook about how to overcome all of the challenges, but sometimes you just have to step out there and you have to get started, and that's what I did, and I had mentors along the way. Ultimately, I got into the sales piece because I was a business owner. I knew what I did, but I didn't know how to help people who might be on the fence about my offering step forward and take the leap and buy from me. In my process of being a business owner, I learned that I needed to sell. And so I learned a sales process, and I was so passionate about sharing this with other people that I actually became a trainer, a diamond certified trainer under the Eric Lofholm system. Even now, though, I use a lot of my own material to help people because I believe that sales is a very customizable system as long as you have a process that you're leading people through. This is my beautiful family. I'm a mother of 7, and 2 of those people in there are my sons-in-law, but this is my beautiful family. And so I've raised 7 children. I've had a lot of experience with a lot of different personalities, and I bring that actually into my coaching and training business to help people because we are all dealing with a lot of different personalities. We deal with people who are excited, and we deal with people who are reticent, and we deal with people who like forms, and we deal with people who like to just take charge. So when you have 7 children, you run into a lot of that stuff. I'm also a black belt in the martial arts. So in this picture, you see 4 of my children plus myself, and that's when I got my 2nd degree black. Now, martial arts is really an interesting way to approach life because it's all about being present and about ever growing and ever becoming better at your craft. And so for me, I see that in sales because in sales, we never really arrive. We're always growing and we're always getting better. And the training that I received to become a black belt and continue to become a black belt, what that does for me is it enables me to help people who maybe feel like they'll never arrive or maybe feel like they don't want to try something. Well, I can help you overcome some of those things because of the training that enabled me to become a black belt. And it's the same kind of mindset that enables us to become masters in sales. I feel like I'm talking a lot about myself. I'll be done with that in a few moments here. And this is a picture of me at the very first women's conference I spoke at in Dublin. As you can see here, I had a broken arm, and I ended up talking with a broken arm and making quite a few friends in Dublin. And what the information that we shared with people there, it was life-changing for some of the people at the conference. So it's just a little bit of how I might be able to help you in your sales journey. Now, today is all about attraction. Today is about attraction. So what is attraction about? We're going to cover that. We're also going to cover, how do you attract the right people? What do we do to get in touch with the people who absolutely need what we have to offer and that we can make their lives better? Now, what do we do with all these freebie hounds? Because every business has the people that all they want to do is get the free stuff. I'm going to give you some ideas of how you can turn those people into buyers and ultimately into possibly even becoming those big buyers, and also when to just let them go. Let them go, as the song goes, the famous Broadway musical now. And then we're going to talk about, how do you create buyers out of lookers? How do we take them from being interested and engaging with us to actually becoming a customer and enjoying what we can do for them? Now, I found this particular definition of attraction on the internet, and obviously I'm drawing attention to two very important ideas here. But attraction is the action or power of evoking interest, pleasure, or liking for someone or something. So in sales, in marketing, we want them to be interested. We want them, yes, we want them to like us, but more than anything, there are a lot of people who like me, but there are a lot of people who won't buy what I have to sell because they're not interested in it. But there are people like you and get interested in what you have to offer. Noreen, what you do generational stuff, is that right? If you want to say or want to just put it in the chat. Okay, so Maureen, oops, oh, chat one, there we go. Maureen does family history research and genealogy, and that is very popular, and it's extremely important for us to find our roots. So thank you for sharing that. So there may be people who like Noreen because she's on this conference, or maybe you have a nutrition business, or maybe you have a retreat business, or maybe you're a social media manager. So but you have a lot of people that like you. We want to get those people that are interested in what you do, not just interested, but really have a need or desire for what you do. Let's see, here we go. There we are. Now, it all starts with what we think, though. Everything starts with what we think. You know, is attraction an inside job? Is it something that starts on the inside of me? One of the things that I've seen with a lot of people that I work with, and I have some clients who struggle with this particular area. So in sales, a lot of times we are afraid to ask people to spend money with us for whatever reason, especially if we're in the coaching industry or we're in some kind of self-help industry. It can be very difficult, very, very difficult to take that step and ask people for money, ask them to make a financial commitment. And so what that often, though, comes across is it comes across almost as a repelling kind of force. Because think about what people are looking for. If people are coming to you for a solution, they want to know that you can solve their problem, right? That's why they're turning to you right now. And so if you are reticent or you're reluctant to be honest about what you need them to do in order to enjoy your product or service, what happens is they kind of step back a little bit and they're not confident that you're the person to handle the situation for them. Oh, Jerry, I'm so glad you came. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Um, we'll just make sure you get the replay. And all the people who are not with us today, I know we had a lot of interest in this webinar, so we're definitely going to get the replay out. You just need to make sure I have your email address. Well, anyway, so attraction is an inside job. Am I confident enough to ask people to make that commitment? Am I confident enough to ask them? Because if I'm confident enough to let them know what it's going to take to work with me, then they're in turn going to have confidence that I have the solution to their problem. And money can be a funny thing. We're going to talk about that toward the end of the seminar, but I want you to think, are you passionate about what you do for people? Does it, like, you get up in the morning and go, oh my gosh, yes, I get to help people with this. If you do, you are well on your way. If you don't, then, that's something that we can be working on together. Okay, I've another chat here. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you from Jerry. All right, so it is an inside job. There's work we have to do on the inside, and hopefully this particular webinar will help you with some of that inside work. But I want you to know that the greatest asset you have is confidence in your product, confidence in your offering, and confidence that you are worth what you're asking for. That is so, so important. All right, so we're talking about attraction. We're talking about the power to get people interested in working with us. So how do we connect with these people? Well, I found this really interesting quote, and I think it really encapsulates well what we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes. Know what your customers want most and what your company does best. Focus on where those two meet. So the key here is one key here, of course, is we have to know, what do our customers want the most? What do they want the most, and how do we meet that need? In order to be able to attract the right people, we have to know who those right people are, and we have to know what they're looking for to make sure that we're a good fit for them. Wouldn't you agree? So one of the keys for connection is we have to ask them. We simply have to ask people what they want. Now, it kind of seems a little intuitive, but how many times have we sat down to do our marketing, to figure out our Facebook posts, to do whatever it is that we do in order to bring clients to us so that we have the opportunity to talk to them, and we think, well, I know what they want, and we figure it out and we put it out there, and then nothing happens. There's no engagement. Because we don't really know what they want, we've never asked them. So one of the ways that we can ask is through surveys. We can, if you have a database, then you send out a survey through something like a SurveyMonkey, or most CRMs have a survey function. You can also use Google Forms. I love Google Forms because it's a great place to ask questions and to get responses back. And it's a great tool, and the even better thing about it is free. Absolutely free. So I love surveys. And also, you want to think about polls. So how many of you have used a poll in, let's say, Facebook or on Twitter to get information from the people who you are engaged with or you're connected to on those particular platforms? Go ahead and in the chat type a 1 if you have used polls, and type a 2 if you've never used a poll. Okay, so we have one person who has used a poll, and we have someone else who has not used a poll. So the polls, now the polls on Facebook particularly, you can list a number of things you want people to answer, or you can leave a space open for them to tell you what they're looking for. And that's probably one of the most valuable features of the polls, is because then people can tell you what they're looking for. And we're going to get to that here in a moment, but we need to find out what they want. The questionnaires, let's see, questionnaires are really important as well. And you can use something like a Google Forms to create questionnaires that are helpful for you to get information. Now, the thing about questionnaires and stuff and surveys and polls are easy because they're just, you give people just a few options and then they get to pick or they add their own. Surveys and questionnaires, sometimes, and let me know if this is your experience, have you ever gotten that on your cell phone where they say, oh, just fill out this quick questionnaire, and 10 minutes later you're still on the silly questionnaire because it seems like it takes you to another page and another page and another page and another page. Have you ever had that experience? If you have, then you know how you thought you were only going to spend a few minutes, and it makes you, when you end up spending all this time filling out the poll or the questionnaire or the survey, it makes you reticent to try to do it again. So my recommendation is that you only have maybe 5, 10, not even 10 questions for people to fill out. It is annoying, right, Jerry? It's annoying when you think it's just going to be a couple of minutes, and then before you know it, you've spent all this time and you had other things to do. And then what ends up happening is nobody fills out the survey. Oh yeah, there might be a hamburger at the end of it or some other thing like that. But the thing is there's one resource that we all have that's more valuable than any resource we have, and that's the resource of time. So we want to make it easy for people to give us information so that we know what they are looking for. Now, one of the things that I find is extremely valuable is asking my current customers what they enjoy about working with me. So if you ever get on a call with me, I will always ask you, what is something that you walked away from this call with? Because it helps me to know what I'm doing right. If somebody doesn't buy from you, that's an equally great opportunity. As a matter of fact, that's an even better opportunity to find out what they want, because now you know why they didn't buy. What did you do, or what is it about your offering that's not meeting their needs? Now, it could be that they were just not the right buyer, and that's okay. But sometimes, well, there's a story. Let me share this really quick story with you. There was a realtor who had been working with this couple. It was their first time home. They were very, very close to stepping forward and signing the documents. So what the gentleman did is he sent the documents to them by email. Well, he didn't hear back, and he didn't hear back. And a couple of weeks, a week goes by, he hasn't heard. So he reaches back out to them and he says, well, I know you were very interested. Are you still planning to move forward? And they said, well, What ended up happening was, by sending them an email, instead of making a direct connection with them and calling them and taking maybe 10, 20, even 30 minutes to speak with them directly, he lost the sale because of the electronic communication. Now, I'm not saying that you should never use electronic communication, but what I am saying is he learned a valuable lesson there, and he changed his way of operating to where when he needed to get documents signed, he went and he met with those people in person. It was just a small tweak, but it ended up getting him a lot more business. So ask the people who are your current customers, and ask the people who don't buy from you what you could have done differently or what they were looking for. That's such valuable information. Or a customer who walks away, somebody who's already buying and then they decide to go with a competitor, they'll give you great information. And that's really important so that you're attracting the right people. Okay, let's see. So the next thing we want to do in connecting with people is we want to hang out where they hang out. We need to be where they are. Now on social media, that's pretty That's pretty obvious. If they're on Facebook, we need to be on Facebook. We need to be in groups on Facebook because that's where people are talking and engaging and connecting. If they're on LinkedIn, we need to be in LinkedIn groups. If they're on Twitter, we need to be in the chats where those people are. You have to find those things that interest them so that you can start to build connections, right? Because attraction is all in the connection that we make with people. So the Facebook groups, the Twitter chats, but also go to the gym. Go to the gym. And maybe your target market is in the gym. I know of a coach who he was rebuilding his business, and what he ended up doing was he was doing fitness training. He was a physical trainer or a fitness trainer, right? And so what he did is he went to the daycares, he went to the beauty salons, he went to all the places that the women who he was looking to connect with would be hanging out. So he created relationships with those business owners and left his material there at the particular facility or the particular business. And he started to get people who were interested, the soccer moms, the moms who really didn't have time to go and do things on their own. He began to meet them where they were. So I want you to think for a moment. Go ahead and put in the chat, where are the places that your peeps hang out? The people that are going to best be served by your business, where are they? Where can you think of one place where they would be? Because this is a webinar, I'm a little reluctant to have too much dead time. Normally I would have more time. Oh, by the way, Jerry, since you joined us just a tad late, I want you to know there's going to be a Q&A at the end of this webinar today, and so you can have any questions that come up. That would be a great time for us to entertain those questions. So Jerry says that the people that she has are usually a lover of gardens. Oh, lovely. So that would be a great place to find those people, make relationships with business owners. And plus, you never know who knows what somebody who can benefit from your service. So these are just a couple of ideas of the people that I serve and hang out with. Actually, I go to lots of networking events, and I go into businesses where people are making sales, but I also go to coffee houses. I think that coffee house is on this list. See, coffee shops. There's just a lot of great places. I have so many wonderful things. I wish I could share it all today. So I'll have to do another one. But there are so many wonderful ways and so many great places that you can make connections with people who are your ideal client. The next thing is, so far with connections, we've talked about you got to ask. Second, you have to talk their language. Second, you have to go where they hang out. Women really are your ideal clients. See, Noreen says, mostly mine in Facebook groups, but some don't want you tutoring for business, mainly online, but sometimes at talks on local history and friends of friends and networking events. Right, yes. So there is a way. Social media is a powerful tool. It's a great place to build trust. It's not a great place to actually solicit business. That's very true. Very, very true. And Jerry says, women really are my ideal clients, so I can chat anywhere. That's so true, right? All right. So now you've gathered information. You know where people are hanging out. Now we want to talk their language. Let's see. Oh, whenever I go into the chat, I have to redo this. We want to capture their words. And we want to use their words to explain to them how we can help them out. If I tell people I'm a sales trainer and I sell sales training, and people go, oh, that's very nice. Well, I don't need sales training. But when I talk to people and they say, you know, we've had a really rough year, it seems that when I work to get leads, I can't seem to get the attention of the right people. And when I get them, then when we get to the point of making a decision, they come back to me and they say, well, not now, or I'll take a look at it later. See, now what I come in and I say, you know, when we deal with people who want to put off a decision, when they want to look at my offering later, I can help people get past that objection so that you can get more information and close more sales that way. See, by using their language, instead of saying I teach people how to sell, what I say is I listen to what they're looking for and I tell them that, if I can, of course, I'm not going to make any big deals that I can't, but I come to them explaining to them how, in their own words, I can help them with their problem. So Noreen, I know, for example, with family history, some people may not connect with the whole idea of family history, but maybe they connect with knowing if they had relatives in a particular location. Or I'm here in the United States, so a lot of people are curious if they had relatives that came through Ellis Island, or if they had somebody that came on the Mayflower, or in Jamestown, or wherever. So I tend to use the language of the people I'm with to help them see how I can help them in their own lingo, so to speak. Now, we want to stay away from jargon. So jargon is things like using acronyms or terms that are just pretty much related to your specific industry, but they don't mean anything to your clients. So it is an interesting thing that she does. Yes, places as well as finding relatives. It is fascinating. We did determine that I don't have any Irish roots, though. I don't have any Irish roots. But I did find out my grandfather did go through Ellis Island. So anyway, but getting back to no jargon, we want to stay away from any terms that are not going to be meaningful to our clients. Yes, I do now. That's right. I do have Irish roots now because I have such wonderful Irish friends. It's awesome. So stay away from terms that are not meaningful to your clients. In sales, for example, here's a great example. As I've been learning to work in the Irish market, Irish people don't necessarily talk about closing the sale. What Irish people tend to say is getting the sale over the line. So the funny thing is, I have to be careful when I'm talking to an American audience because Americans want to close the sale. Irish people want to take the sale over the line. It's not the same. It's the same activity, but it's not the same lingo. So when I'm with Irish people, I talk about taking the sale over the line. When I'm with Americans, I talk about closing more sales. Okay, and last but not least, provide value, 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 value. Have you ever had those people that are just telling you about everything they can do for you, but they don't give you any information that you can use for yourself? I find those people annoying. I find them very annoying. Yes, right? I mean, Jerry says, haha, yes. Those kinds of people, what it is they don't understand that we don't make sales by telling people what we do. We make sales by building relationships and helping people find solutions. And so the way we do it is by providing value. I have a Facebook group, and in my Facebook group, it's called the Sales Mastery Group. But in the group, I really work very hard not to promote myself, and I really am starting to work more to get people to talk to each other. Why? Because if people see what what you can do, what I can do for them without pitching or without trying to sell them on myself. It's an easy thing that they'll come to me or they'll come to you with problems that you can solve because they're seeing that you're providing information that's important to them. And what that does is the more value you provide, when you need to take a sale over the line, when you need to close a sale, when you need to ask the big ticket items, they're going to understand how much you can do for them because you've already proven your value without asking for money. So when it comes to social media posts, when it comes to that, they say that you should be putting out 3 times more value than pitching. So I'm not saying you shouldn't pitch. I'm not saying you shouldn't invite people to do stuff. What I am saying is that you need to put out information that people you can help can resonate with so that when you ask them to join your mailing list, when you ask them to do a free download or an opt-in, they're very likely to simply because they trust you now because you've shown them what you can do for them already. You give, this is Jerry, she gives a lot of information and shows a lot around nature, growing, etc. Awesome. Jerry, what exactly do you do? Let's share that with the group. Because by you guys being on with me right now, see, you get a little bit of promo. I love helping people. You make plantable seed paper. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is cards and gifts. Oh, that's beautiful. That's awesome. Living memorials. That is really beautiful. That is really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so provide value. Give people ideas of what they can do on their own. Give them what they can do on their own. I'm not good at selling myself, but when I get talking about my work, my passion comes across, and I hope it shows and wins them over. I do too. I do too. When we get to the last portion before we do the question and answer, and I want to make sure I get to question and answer. We're going to talk about a process that you can use to show people not just your passion, but you can lead them in buying decisions. Okay, so how do we handle the freebies? I'm going to go through this one pretty quick because I do want to get to the question and answer portion. But you're going to have people that all they want is the free call, the free opt-in, the free this, the free that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It could be they have financial constraints. We don't know what holds people back. But I can tell you that there is a way to help them move along in the system. Now, the whole idea of a sales funnel is kind of getting overused, in my opinion. What I want to talk about is a nurturing of a relationship with people. But then there does have to come a point where you simply have to say, I'm not going to, this person's never going to buy from me. I think I'm just going to cut my losses and move on. So the first thing that you want to think about is getting them to sign up for your newsletter. One, they'll always get your newsletter. Two, if they're not going to buy, what's going to happen is one day they're going to get tired of looking at all the clutter in their inbox and they're going to start deleting and unsubscribing. You don't want those people anyway. Don't worry about it. Let them go. Just let them go. But it's a free way to stay in front of them, providing that value. The next thing is to give them a low-cost offering of some sort. Maybe you have a $2 or $3 offering or a $5 offering, something that's not a lot for people to commit to. The saying goes that if somebody will buy from me with $1, they'll buy $100 or they'll buy $1,000 if I nurture that relationship. So on the other hand, while I'm not after people for the money that's in their pocket, I have to realize that my time is money and I need to spend it on people who are going to move forward with a relationship that's mutually beneficial, which means not only am I giving them value, but I'm receiving compensation in exchange for it. So low-cost offerings can become a way of getting people to begin to buy from you to see that you provide more value than you charge them for. And as you can upsell and move them forward through emails and through different kinds of things that you can do, when you have those kinds of little things going on, you're building those relationships. And the more they move forward, the more they buy from you, the more you know that you can be able to serve them even better. This isn't about making the $1,000 sale right now. This is about nurturing relationships. Now, if you have an offering where they want more, but they want it for free, you need to be very clear about what it is that working together looks like. So whenever I have a call with somebody that's a free call, I work to give them something that they can walk away with that will be beneficial, but I also let them know that to get more, they absolutely have to consider some kind of financial obligation. So it could be one-on-one coaching, it could be my subscription website, it could be a number of things. And I often tailor my offering to what the conversation has been about. But I'm really clear that if they want to work with me on a more regular basis, that there is a cost. And, you know, not everybody steps forward and buys from me. I always make sure I offer my big package to people because you never know who's going to say yes. Sometimes by offering the big package, they want to move forward. The big package isn't what they need, so they'll move forward with a smaller package with you. And is that okay? I don't know. I would say it is. I would say absolutely. So, so you know, I would send the freebies to your marketing, your newsletter, and let them make the decision if they want to move forward. Of course, you're going to still be marketing to them. You can reach out to them, but if they're steadfastly not willing to spend money, then you know, just leave them on the newsletter and let them make the decision whether or not they want to be engaged with you. It's pretty simple. Now let's turn the lookers into buyers. I'm watching the time here. So there's a process to follow. There's a process that we can follow to help people move forward with a decision. That process starts with lead generation, which is a lot of what we're talking about today. How do we get people to talk to? The next one is setting the appointment, actually getting in front of people and talking to them about what their needs are and how we can help them, and possibly moving them forward in some kind of buying decision. We want to always in that process build trust. And that's actually part of the process. We find a way of connecting with them if we already haven't found that way, in order to begin to lower their resistance to moving forward with some kind of monetary compensation. People buy from people, and they only buy from people they like and trust. Would you agree? If you ladies didn't trust me, you wouldn't even be on this webinar. So yes, Jerry says yes, true. Definitely, right? You are, we only buy from people we trust. Long gone are the days where we don't trust people. And then when somebody, after we've purchased, if somebody's proven themselves unworthy, we usually terminate the relationship, right? I recently had that happen to me with somebody that I was starting to work with. Turned out that the person was defrauding other people, so I quit that process with them. Why? Because I won't work with somebody who is defrauding other people. He broke my trust. And most of us, we're really good at building the trust, but sometimes we don't get past the building of the trust in the relationship, and we don't move on to getting people to move forward with a sale. Now the discovery portion here, this is where we're learning about what they want, learning about their needs, learning about why they're even willing to speak to us on a personal basis, to find out exactly what their deepest need is that we can meet. This is done through questions and listening. Questions and listening. Now, I've taught a lot of people this in a more in-depth seminar, and if that is something, we're going to move on to more of the process. But if that's something that you feel you could benefit from, then I do urge you to get on a call with me so I can share with you how you could take advantage of that. After we've learned what they're looking for, then we want to share the benefits. And sharing the benefits is not sharing the features. The features of your product, it could be the paper, it could be the seed, or the features could be that they get a family tree and they get somebody to do a process for them. Those are the features. The benefits are what the client is looking for that's going to make their life better. So, Jerry, you talked about a living memorial. Well, what that's going to do is it's going to keep in remembrance for them a loved one that's passed on that they don't want to lose touch with. It's going to keep them connected to that loved one. See, that's the benefit. When it comes to family history, they're going to have the pride of knowing that they're where they came from and their ancestors. They may even enjoy learning more about what their roots are. So these are all powerful benefits that we don't normally think about, but that our client will tell us in the discovery process if we do the discovery process well. Totally, right? So the benefits, you find out, you know what your features are, but the benefits are how it's the place where your product meets the client's desire. Does that make sense? The product meets the client's desire, and it's a really powerful place because the next thing you're going to do is ask them to move forward with an order. And there's a way to do that. We transition them. See, up until this point, we think that the ask is the big deal, but really, if they're engaged with us, if we're showing them how they can benefit from working with us, then when we say, okay, this is how we can move forward together, this is how you can enjoy these benefits, it's really very simple for them to move forward with a monetary commitment. Does that make sense? Does that seem reasonable and easier to do than if suddenly you get to this place and you have to ask them to buy something from you? Yes, it does. And that's where, and Noreen, you are not alone. You are not alone. I even struggle with it, but because I teach this stuff and because I do it on a regular basis, I've learned to overcome my fears. I still get nervous. I still get nervous when people, so you'll have to ignore that phone if you can hear it. I'm alone in the office today, so but I'll get to them later. So we have to ask. If we're uncomfortable with asking, we just need to get into the habit of asking, and we get feedback from that process, whether they move forward or what their response is. And there's so many ways to deal with responses because a lot of people will raise concerns or objections to moving forward. And I'm going to give you a 4-step process. It's not in here, but because you guys are with me, I'm going to give you this 4-step process that you're going to find easy. So get out your pen and paper, write it down really fast. So the first thing you do when somebody raises a concern is you agree with them. Yes, you're right. It is quite an investment. See, I agreed with them. Now they're dropping their resistance. The second thing is, what is it about this particular service that I'm offering that you have some concerns about? And then you wait and you listen. And then and you may have to go through a few more questions to really get down to the root cause, because if they're not ready to move forward, then we haven't dug deep enough into their real motivations. Maybe it's a spouse. Money is rarely the concern. I'm going to be honest with you. Money is rarely the concern. We have to show them, there's usually something else, that money is just the easy way for them to say, no, I'm not going to move forward, because they're not willing to make a hard decision about another concern they have. So then you ask those questions So, okay, so you agree, you ask more questions, and then you educate them using their words again to help them to see how moving forward is something that's going to benefit them. And then the fourth part is you ask again. So agree, ask questions, educate, and ask again. That is the four-step process. It's you guys got it here. I wasn't even planning to give it to you, but because you guys were here with me, I'm giving it to you. So right now, we've talked about a lot of things. We have talked about the mindset that attracts people to us. We have talked about how we connect with people. We have talked about how we can get that sale over the line. And so the questions, oh, awesome, more questions here. Let's see. Oh, you're welcome. You just had a light bulb moment. Oh, awesome. So this would be a good time to ask questions. And then I'll share with you how you can actually, for free, I have a free offer on this webinar. So, then you can get more of me through my subscription website. So I'll be sharing that in a minute here. But what questions do you have about attracting the right people and getting those sales over the line? It can take a minute or two to type in. Of course, Noreen and Jerry have been asking questions throughout and have been responding, and I'm greatly appreciative because I don't like talking to myself. Oh my goodness. And I do love my Irish friends. You are great with individuals. You have a trade fair coming up. How do you sell to resellers as well? That is a great question. So what do you think that resellers are most interested in? Think about what they're most interested in. I hear some typing. What sells and what is trending. That's right. So you have to, so for resellers, a really real key is finding out what their customers want. So when you go in to talk to resellers, you want to find out what they're finding with their customers, what their customers want, and what the price point is for their customers, so that you can build that a pricing structure, or a pricing structure in order to help them sell the product. See, your goal is to help them become successful with their customers. And what are their customers looking for? How is it that your product benefits their customers' lives? See, now the circle is spreading and it's getting wider and wider. So you have to think about what their customers are looking for so that they can be successful, which of course makes you successful. You have an eco-friendly product that's very trendy. Exactly. Also think about what else is it about your product that people would be interested in, because it could be eco-friendly, but what else is it that their customers would enjoy? And so you can just take that conversation quite deep, and you can become a real benefit to them. See, now you become their go-to person for their business. It has an emotional pull and it's pretty. And you want to tie in that emotional pull. That was your light bulb moment. How awesome. That is grand. That is grand. And brilliant. Those are the two Irish words I've learned to use. You're welcome. You are welcome. Noreen, did you have anything that you wanted to pop up? Of course, if you have any questions, you are welcome to message me or in the Facebook group, anywhere that you like. I'll wait just a minute to see if Noreen has another question. All right. Well, Noreen, if you do, you go ahead and you put it in the chat and I'll answer it while I'm finishing up the webinar. Oops, there we go. So let me help you grow your business. Let me help you find those people who are your ideal client. And let me help you through a free 1-month subscription to my website. Okay, we have a question. Awesome. Love questions. You've just sent something. Oh, okay. Oh, how do I go back and say it is outside the basic package so that they will have to pay more? Oh, okay. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. I find that people expect my knowledge for free, or once they pay, then they come back with additional questions, research that they expect to be included in the lowest package. How do I go back and say it is outside the basic package, so we'll have to pay more? That is an excellent question. So when people buy the basic package, what you can do at the outset is when you sit down and you tell them the basic package, you say, okay, a lot of times people will ask me for more. I am absolutely willing to do that. I will give you one free question or one free email, or with the maximum of 2 or 3 questions. After that, you can get a bundle. I'm not sure how you would do this, Noreen, but you want to make it clear that this is what they get for the package. And sometimes you can throw in a bonus, like, for moving forward today, normally I include this in my higher package, but today I'm going to give you this for free. After this, anything else, it's going to cost this much additional. Now, people will balk. That's just the way we are. That's the way we are. So you just have to gently remind them, I'm more than happy to help you with this. How would you like to move forward with this? To do this, it's going to cost this. To do this, it's going to cost this. And to do this, it's going to cost this. Which one would you like to do? And see, it makes it really, really clear that to move forward with more work, that this is what they have to do. And you'd be surprised, most people will say they'll move forward with something. And if they don't, then they're not going to be the client you want to spend your time with. And that's a tough thing to do. Was that helpful, Noreen? It can take a while for some of these answers to come through. Okay, good. Excellent. Yes. See, you just have to be clear. We want people to like us, and so we tend not to put our foot down. And we're not being ugly. We're just being honest. And so I've had people in my industry who say, yes, we want a TV, a bigger TV. And I go, yeah, that will be $50 more per month. And you know what? If they want it, great. If they don't, they'll say, oh, no, thanks. And I'll be like, great, no thanks. I won't give it to them. I don't offer it as a freebie because my resources and my assets are valuable. Yeah, right? Exactly. Okay, so you can get access to 1 month of a free subscription to my website. Okay, whoops, every time I do the chat, it changes. Okay, so what that will entail is that you'll have access to the interviews that I do on Sales Mastery, which you cannot find anywhere else. They're only found in the subscription website. Plus, I have modules on how you can learn sales at your own pace. And once a month, I will be doing a Q&A session where you can come to me live and ask me questions. I used to be afraid to do that stuff because I thought, what if I don't have the answer? But what I have found is, number one, if I don't have the answer, then that means I can get back to you. And number two, I have found that the experience I've gained has been very helpful. And so a lot of things that happen in sales, they are pretty they're pretty general across the board, and there's a lot of things that we can help you with that maybe other people haven't been able to help you with. And as a woman, I really resonate really well with women when it comes to sales. So you can grow your skills by listening to the experts. That's only found in Sales Mastery, in my Sales Mastery subscription site. We have modules, and you can get your questions answered live every single month with a Q&A, just like this one. Also, if you sign up, I'm going to give you a free gift of 7 things you need to know before you call your prospect. And that's especially important with GDPR in place right now. So I don't have the website ready right now, but if you want to get your free month, go ahead, put it in the chat, and then I will get back with you and I will send you the link to sign up for your free month. So it has been a delight to be with you ladies today, and those of you that are watching the replay, I certainly hope that if you have questions, you will email me and let me know so that I can help you out. So you can email me at anna@annascheller.com. I'll get your email, and I'm pretty good about answering pretty quickly. So thank you so much for joining, and make it a great day. There we go. Oh, I'm so glad I was able to help you. Let's see. I'll stop the recording.